polytunnel is nice and hot. 35 already. Do you know what? The stream is drying up. Guys, have you ever seen a dandelion with these many flowers? Like literally, this is one plant, yo. This is. Hi beautiful people, and welcome to a new vlog. We are at the allotment, as you can see, and we have a few jobs to do, so I want to take you guys along. Come with me. So first off today, we are clearing this pile here. This was a previous brassica cage that almost literally fell apart, and so we decided to get rid of everything. And the brassicas here, the cauliflower has just finished. We've picked a few, so we're gonna get rid of this whole thing and get this bed ready for tomatoes. Tomatoes will take over this whole bed. And boys, we are also gonna take this down. Can you see, boys? The next thing I wanted to share with you guys will be the plantings we made. Is it a week? I think a week ago. Although we have tomatoes growing. This is tomatoes. I thought that was beetroot actually. That is tomatoes. You see the self-seeded tomatoes from the compost. Obviously the compost was not hot enough. That is all tomatoes, so that is not beetroot. Loads of self-seeded tomatoes because it's been warm. But you see the beetroots we planted, there is some germination. The peas are germinating as well, so that is nice. We got peas around this little circle here. A few of the beans we sowed the other day have also germinated, as you can see. So yeah, when you direct sow, you get germination. So a few little signs of spring. Let's show you some more. Guys, this is our little relaxation area. I love it. The boys have set up our chairs and it's happy go when we have work to do. So let me show you the carrots. The carrots have been sown for about a month. Oh, it takes so long for carrots to come up in the UK, especially when they are uncovered. So these carrots were sown about a month ago, and they're finally germinated. I sowed them in rows and they all sort of literally come up. So this bed is carrot. The other day I put my sweet potatoes. I put some sweet potatoes out. So a couple sweet potatoes, one here and one there. We have flowers already in peppers. Marigolds are growing. I also these are some broccoli seedlings. They look miserable because they were in too much water, but they'll pick up. These are colettes. These are beetroots that were sown earlier. When were these beetroots sown? I can't remember. I can't find the little thing. And these are the last tomato sowings over there. So sweet potatoes again in containers. I sow them here. I leave them up here on the staging. The staging sort of helps keep them warmer. They like the warmth, okay? And my experiment from the last time is literally pepper struggling, but we know the weather has been cold. And this one as well has been eaten up, literally almost eaten up by, I'm sure Mr. Slug will be somewhere. There's no slugs. I think it's woodlouse eating this thing, you know, to be honest. Could be woodlouse. You guys let me know. I've put my cinnamon, pest control and peppers, and I don't know if the damage is still increasing or not, but it will be fine once all the plants are out. For the moment, all the plants are not out here, so they look all miserable. However, my little plant babies here, those plant babies here are making me happy. They look good. They do need to be potted up though, because look at that. They are in small tiny pots. They should be root bound. Hopefully next week we will put them out, but we still have a risk of frost, so that is one thing you have to be careful about. Yeah, frost is a real thing in May. You can have your healthy thriving seedlings just die if you put them out too early. Guys, I should have brought my face cap. Like, this is not good. I didn't know if it is sunny. The forecast said it won't be, but anyway, let's do the video. Over here behind the poly, I have some elephant garlic I planted from saved seeds, I believe, last year, and it's looking good. I think we got 4 plants, and these are self-seeded potatoes here. Got some more garlic on the side, but they don't look so good. You get the rust here. You might not tell now, but I think this might be signs of rust. I'm not 100% sure. Ah, my neighbor is shredding some wood. He's got a shredder. Let's go see what he's got. My plot neighbor got himself a shredder for £100 on eBay. I should get one because look at that. It gives him decent chips. He's able to chip all those woods, which is not bad. Right. This is my beautiful neighbor's plot. She grows a lot of flowers and perennials, and it's always so good looking. I love looking at my neighbor's plot. This is the same neighbor. Look at all the flowers she's growing. You see all those beautiful flowers, amazing flowers, and this is flowering season. Anyway, so let's do some work with the boys. Well done. So the tomatoes I put in on our last plot tour in April, they look so sad, like compared to the ones at home. Okay, this is our little brassica cage, and I put in the first brassicas that were sown in February. Yes, believe it or not, these kills were sown in February, and they don't look the best, but they will pick up. So a few of them, not a lot because they died. When I went on my holiday to China, they died. Hobby couldn't look after all the seedlings. But hey ho, that is part and parcel of what happens when you grow and you start a bit early in the season. Now these onions that I put here are looking really good. I want to do something about them though. I want to give them some mulch. Onions really like the soil to be moist and cool for them to do very well. So we're just gonna mulch with some fresh grass clippings from the garden which we had today. So the clippings are in place now, and this will really make a difference to the onions. They would love it, absolutely love this sort of insulation they get from the cold and from the heat. Guys, allotment overwhelm is a real thing. Like I was speaking to one of the allotmenters this morning, and she was saying how stressed it can be this time of the year. So doing anything that would help reduce that stress is so important, especially for someone like me that is working almost sort of semi full time. And yeah, so doing things like this, mulching, using the card, getting the family over when I can, makes a huge difference. So it is a lot of work, but it is worthwhile. And if you can, what's that I'm seeing something like a larvae. Get distracted. And if you can, as much as you can, get help and pace yourself, okay? So this is why we have this here now. We have the beautiful mulch all over. The grass clippings will keep these onions looking better and save us the time of weeding as well. Onion, if you know anything about weeding onions, it can be a lot of hassle, okay? We're also gonna put some clippings here as well. So good. The grass clippings make a huge difference to the onions all the time. The broad beans are beginning to be look at them. You see that? These are the first signs of broad beans. The scarlet ones I love. These ones though, they are gonna go because they are going to seed. So beetroots don't tend to form more heads. Unfortunately, they don't. They just go to seed. So I'm gonna take them all out. If you remember, I did say that the beetroots, we're not sure if they'll do anything, but I think the beetroots, the first year they form the bulb, and in the second year they just tend to go to seed. So, and I'm not really wanting the greens. Now people will say you can eat the greens. I find beetroot leaves are high in oxalic acid and they do bother me, so I don't bother anymore keeping them. I have my brassica, kale, and they are a bit lower in oxalates for me to enjoy. So these is gonna go to the compost heap. If I had chickens, maybe I'll feed them, but no, compost it will be. Let's take it all out. So for now, beetroots is out, and let the bed rest. It's all going to the compost heap. I've been told he needs to chop this into small bits, and that is actually the best way to deal with it. So it's just broken down the stems. The problem with these stems is when they actually dry up, they become a bit fibrous and a bit difficult to break down. They're gonna break down a lot quicker. And yeah, so remember what I did last time? I put my food scraps in and I covered it with horse manure so it stays nice and moist. We have a bit of greens in here. This one is literally in its infancy stage, but we need that bed to be covered. So that bed needs to be covered with compost for our tomatoes. Therefore, we're going to use this now. But however, it's not going to rob the soil of nitrogen because it's on the top and the roots are in the bottom. That is Ryan coming with some cards I picked, and we're just going to flatten them and spread them over here. So we are taking off this metal copper pins. It's so important not to leave them, and as much as possible get rid of any tapes as well. And that's another job. Here supervising. Supervising. Not really. I am making sure everything is done properly because I spend more time here at the allotment than they do. They spend way less time than me, and I have to make sure that they're making my life easier when they're not here. So this is why they get to do more of this. Guys, you see what hubby is doing? He's making sure that every gap where we have a potential for sunlight to heat the soil is covered, and that's where he has this little cardboard that he's putting in the corners there. As you can see, it really makes a difference. Sunlight is a catalyst for any germination, so without sunlight you can't have plants growing and thriving, and weeds need sunlight. So this actually, apparently this horse manure we put here, we didn't put the cardboard. So that's why we also have at this corners we have bindweed. Although I wanted the plantain there to grow, there's plantain around the edges, but the bindweed which we have, that is bindweed. This is what bindweed looks like. It's literally coming from under the ground, and that is because I don't know what this one is. This is always everywhere these days. Yeah, but the plantain I want. But yeah, all this bindweed here is because there is exposure to sunlight, so hence we make sure we cover the card properly. Guys, we have dahlia. Excited. Last year the slugs ate my dahlias. They struggled. Okay, so what I am doing this year to protect this dahlia at all costs, because the other ones haven't even come up yet, my plot neighbor gave me one of these. You can save plastics if you buy water, or you can get it apparently from the supermarket. So I've just sort of cleared here. Essentially, last year we put horse manure here just as a mulch, and this year I'm surprised the dahlias actually grew through them. So thankfully, I can see a baby slug already there. What? These slugs, they love dahlias. Look at that, is a baby slug. You see that? That is a baby slug there. They love the dahlias so much. That's a slug. Can you see that? They can decimate a dahlia in no time. I think what has saved these dahlias is because we've not had rain. So hopefully this will sort of establish a bit before. That's another massive one there. Oh, it's a shell. It will establish before we get the slugs coming, en masse. So what I will do, I will just cover it with that to help sort of, it's not really a slug deterrent, it's more like a protection from frost, to be honest. And then I'll put a stake in there, and that would hopefully, I've put some slug pellets as well, and that should hopefully prevent more damage. I've also got a few of my other flowers here. I don't know what this plant is called, but I got it from what's it called now, Wilco, a few years ago, and it's been coming back as a perennial. And then I also have my gladiolus. I've got my gladiolus coming up nicely. So the whole aim is to get a little flower bed here. So I've got dahlia, I've got gladioli, I've got that. I actually had a perennial poppy that's a beautiful pink poppy, but this year it hasn't really come up. My plot neighbor's one is up actually. I'll show you. It's actually about to flower. That is, she gave me the cotton that is about to flower, but mine hasn't, but never mind. So hopefully it won't be all bland. It looks quite boring from coming here. I don't just want to grow food, I want to also beautify the place with some flowers, and that's why I'm going to try and make this border. This used to be a compost bay when we inherited it. So the last couple of years we've planted sweet corn. So I want to just get it to be a bit to be matching with all the others, because my neighbors have got flowers at the borders. Okay, anyway, let's go and see how far hubby's gone. So hubby has covered here with the boys, and Ryan is bringing one barrow of sort of parsley. So start from that end, Ryan. We're gonna just spread it. It is not well rotted, it's not ready to use inside, but the tomatoes will be dug deep. You know, I bury my tomatoes fairly deep to prevent them from, or to help them get nutrients from down, and this will be more like a mulch and also feed the plants over the season. Okay, I wanted to get some nettles to add to the compost heap, because the compost heap is literally quite dry because we haven't had rain. We don't have a lot of green there, and we have a lot of nettles in the bush or in the woods just behind the allotment. So I'm going to take you guys along to get some nettles for that. Okay, guys, it's always exercise, you know, when you are at the allotment. It's a good workout. And the stream, I'll show you something actually. Do you know what? The stream is drying up just because we've had no rain in a couple of months. It is flowing, but the level has come down quite significantly. Yeah. Dude, give me the side. Just careful, it's spiky. Eh?
Just all over the surface.
Just throw it and spread it. And so guys, we've come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've seen a snapshot of what the early part of May looks like on the plot in the UK. So these are the things we are growing. Next week will be so exciting, super exciting. Do you know why? We are putting out a lot of things. So we'll put some tomatoes, we'll put the peppers into the polytunnel. As you can see, lots of bare beds, but they are ready. Like the tomato bed has been done today. We have some things growing here, like the peas are popping up, a bit of beetroot here, strawberries are in flower. So yeah, there is something happening. It just is quite early, so not much action. It looks like there's not much action, but I think this is the most important part of, you know, the growing season, setting those little seedlings for a good start, you know, setting them up for a good start. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, if it's added value to, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget, share and subscribe. And until next time, see you in another video. Bye bye.